Peace, family. How you doing? We are live. Vocal Dialect in the building. Vocal Dialect Diecast. I am Knowledge, born 7. We also have Kinwado Akil. We have Shaka Sankofa, Street Law Soldiers. We also have our good brother Gerald Moore of the Street Law Soldiers. And we have a special guest tonight, Ba Imhotep. How you doing, my brother? Peace and power to you. How you doing?
Power, I'm well and strong.
All right. Introduce yourself and tell us a little bit about yourself.
How much time I got to do that?
All right, go ahead.
All right. So peace and blessings, Black family. As always, is a pleasure and is an honor. But first and foremost, I want to extend honors and praise to you guys, man, you brothers, for doing this beautiful work and just for having me here. I'm honored to be amongst you on your platform. I am Ba Imhotep, founder of Pan-African Liberation Movement, PLM, based here in Baltimore City. I've been a part of this movement to push our people forward, to usher in African sovereignty since 1993. I started doing this work when I was incarcerated, and I never missed a beat. I've been doing it ever since. I'm an author. I've authored 6 books. Currently about to put my 7th book out with about a month or two. Scientific Pan-Africanism. That's the next book that's coming out. You know, have a weekend school that functions on Saturdays and Sunday, the Kimoyo Shule Africana, for children ages 8 through 12. The focus there is African history, culture, and we do some academic, enhancement, but primarily trying to get the children grounded and rooted. Do a lot of men's work, family development work. Me and my wife started a coaching service, the No More Coaching Service, where we focus on coaching families through developing families, relationship, marriages, and any other type of personal one-on-one life coaching, spiritual coaching. And there's many more things that I do that will come out as we get into the discussion, but I'll stop there just to give everyone a glimpse as to who I am and what I do.
Okay, great, my brother. I heard, well, you just said you had a school. So having a school, what does that entail as far as you having a school? There's a lot of preparation work for that. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
So that's a great question. So the facility, the building that we utilize is our child care center, which is owned and operated. That center is my wife. It was her and her sister was doing it, but my wife currently does it by herself. Child care center, which is WDC. So what I decided to do 3.5, 4 years ago is to do some enhancements to the basement area of the facility to begin to work with those children in terms of the school. So in terms of the preparation, for me, the preparation was only in getting the space available and ready where we can use it. In terms of educating the children, that preparation have already been done because we also have a nonprofit youth organization. My wife and I and 2 other guys, we started in 2006. So we've been working with young people in the area of development since 2005. Around 2012, we took our program into Baltimore City Public Schools. We was there for 3.5 years working with children. So our preparation extends back from working with children. So I always tell people that to educate children or to educate anyone, we must already be engaged in educational development ourselves. So when we begin to work with others, it's very easy to transition into moving them through a particular process. So the preparation really was just, in my case, to get in the space ready.
I had a question, brother. The race first movement. What's that about?
The race first movement, that's a great question. So in the year 2020, around the mid part of 2020, I began to take note of this observation of a lot of people over critiquing Black Lives Matter. Now,
Right, right.
I'm not saying it from the position that I'm defending Black Lives Matter, but I felt like Black nationalists, Pan-Africanists, revolutionaries, I felt like too much energy was going into that critique And the only reason Black Lives Matter really came to the forefront, besides the fact they was funded, is because there was a void there. And that's the reality of the case. A lot of times we don't want to talk about that, but those Black nationalists have really retreated from the front line. You know what I'm saying? They're not really in the trenches no more. You know, like the 70s, the 60s, the 50s, the 40s, they're not there. So that's how Black Lives Matter movement could take off like that, because it was a void. It was a space for them to open up. So my observation was, we need to redirect some of this energy, those of us that's really, get to do this work. So what I did is I resurrected the concept, the idea of race first as an actual movement, in the sense that the call for race first is a call to action, but it's also a call to get organized. Because looking at us on a national level, when we analyze us nationally, we're not organized. Right. And that's just the truth. I'm 1,000% for Black people, but I'm also a very strategic thinker, and I've been doing this for a very long time, and I understand history. When I look at us nationally, we're not organized. So I was trying to come up with a strategy and a tactic that could facilitate the organization of those of us that's doing this work. So the Race First movement is a movement designed to do two things. The first thing is to facilitate a type of organization, and secondly, I use Race First as a means to raise national consciousness. Because the reason we're not organized at a national level is because we don't have any national consciousness. That's just the matter. We're not political enough to understand how and why we should be organized. And I know I'm using the term we in a very broad sense. I know it don't apply to everyone, but those who apply to, they know who it applies to. Those who it don't apply to, it don't apply to you. But just making a general observation of us as a people, there is a major gap in terms of our organization. I'll give you an example. So was it 2 years ago when the white boy done the thing up in Buffalo, New York? I think it was about 2 years ago.
Yeah,
About 2 years ago. So that. So it happened in Buffalo, New York. So the first week or so, we people talking about it. They're online talking about it. But once you get past that first 5 to 7 days, you notice it begins to dwindle. And the reason it begins to dwindle is because there's really no national consciousness, right? And because there's no national consciousness, there's really no national solidarity. There's no national identity. And because there's no national identity, there's no national feeling. We don't really feel for each other nationally. And because there's no national feeling, we don't really have any national response to these issues that happen to us. There's no national response. And so Race First is a means to address that. It's a means to get us in a position where we can begin to develop national consciousness, so we can have a national identity, we can build national solidarity, we can have national feeling, and we have a national response. So if something happened in Alaska, we should feel that in all 50 states. And we should have a network in operation where we communicate through this network, and we can organize just like this, a response to let everybody know, like, we're not going for it. But we are incapable of doing that. We don't have such a network. So Race First is my effort to build that network. And that's why I'm hosting, with the help of many other Black organizations, I hope and believe we can bring about this National Race First Convention in September 2025.
So did you come up with Race First movement?
The movement, yes, but not the concept. The concept of Race First originated.
Yeah.
The concept of Race First originated with Hubert Harris. So right. Race First as a concept is Hubert Harris. Like Marcus Garvey, he took it and he popularized it, and most people heard Garvey saying it. But Harrison said it first. Harrison got it from Henry Bishop McNeill Turner. So Henry Bishop McNeill Turner said race patriotism. Race first rolls out of race patriotism, because Herbert Harrison studied McNeill Turner. So Herbert Harrison started the new Negro movement in 1916, and Race First was one of his principles. So that's where it comes from. So I don't originate the term, and I never said I did. The Race First movement is a reintroduction and a reconceptualization. So
that's what I meant. The movement. That's what I meant.
The movement. Yeah, I started the movement. Yes, sir.
Yeah. You a part of the
Excellent.
UNI Baltimore chapter?
Say it again, please.
Are you with the UNI ACL Baltimore division?
No, I'm not. No, I'm not a member of the UNIA. I have relationships and affiliations with quite a few of UNIA. UNIA Baltimore and I, we have a relationship. You know, we're in communication. You know, we, you know, when one of the leaders of that organization, we was just in a conversation, a phone conversation, about a week or two ago, and you know, talking about how we can go forward and collaborate on some things and stuff like that within the community. So we are working together on some working. We are striving to begin to work more together on some things. But no, I'm not a member.
Okay.
Excellent, excellent. So, well, I know personally, I know Bob Imhotep, and a matter of fact, I was one of his guest speakers at the original Race First rally, which he is the creator of that program. I call it a program. And it's not only just in Baltimore as a result of its conception from Bob Imhotep. It's in all different parts of the country now. You know, so we want to.
I remember.
Yeah, so we want to make that. Go ahead, Ken.
Nah, I don't mean to cut your wisdom, General Shock. I remember probably about 3 years ago. I don't know if it's Bob Imhotep or somebody had reached out to me to spearhead it down here, but no, I'm involved. Well, at the time, I was, like the second vice president of the UNIA chapter down in Atlanta, 421, and I just really couldn't, I really couldn't get into it because I had a whole lot of stuff on my hands. But I don't know who reached out to me. I don't know if it was you, another brother, but someone from Baltimore reached out to me a few years ago.
Where are you located at again?
I'm in Atlanta.
Oh, so yeah, so it was probably about 2 to 3 years, about 3 years ago.
Yeah, about 3 years ago. Yeah.
Yeah, that was me. Yes, trying to connect. Yeah.
Okay, cool. I was wondering. All right, yeah. I see you in the flesh. That's cool, brother, man. All right, now. Go ahead, General Shock, my father.
Oh, that's cool. Because I want to make this publicly known because, a lot of people, how a lot of people that have this counter-revolutionary and this ego and this just grandiose thinking and behavior, I like to make public record of who are the creators and generators of certain movements because we don't want this to be ran with and somebody else begin to take credit for what this brother has put in. And I saw the conception of the Race First, and I seen how it has expanded and has grown. And that's the reason why, we need to make it publicly known who is, and also give the credit where it's rightfully supposed to be placed at, for such a monumental idea. And I believe that by me knowing Bob Imhotep, I know he was given that vision from our beloved ancestors. And so, and since its conception it has grown and it's just in the blossoming period because it's going to really, really spread like wildfire. So, but we want to make sure that, people are given their just due, and how we do it. We're not into sensationalism and this what they call it showbiz liberation. We want to acknowledge those who are 10 toes down and boots on the ground, by their actions and not their words. So, but it was a question I had for Bob Imhotep. What do you, in your opinion, what do you see
just ahead for us in terms of Black liberation and Black salvation and Black emancipation?
I appreciate that question. One of the things that people might hear me say a lot is I believe in speaking what I define as being brutal truth. And I like to speak brutal truth because truth is designed to make you move. It transforms you when you open yourself up to truth. And truth can make a person feel uncomfortable. But that uncomfortability isn't bad. It's a signal and an indication that something needs to transform or move. And so to answer your question, we're in a bad place. We're in a bad place. And to speak specifically, we talk about, Black liberation in the movement. The consciousness that's within the movement is at an all-time low. It's at an all-time low. And because it's at an all-time low, it has impacted our ability to be effective on multiple levels. Case in point, I give an example. One of the things that if we honest about, there's an erosion in character. Like there's an erosion in character where character isn't emphasized. Like people can say do what they want to do, be less than good in their behavior, and no one's, they get a pass. And like we can't build that way. We can't sustain anything like that. So if this movement is going to take off the way that it must take off, there's going to have to be a cleaning up process, And there's going to have to be standards that collectively the serious-minded, committed individuals can agree upon. And then everybody else will have to meet those standards. Simple as that. Like the movement is too loose. It's too loose.
Yeah.
Right? It's too loose. And because it's so loose, that's why it's in the state that it's in. And nothing can't be loose. Any and everything of substance in the known universe is governed. There is nothing that's not governed. In the movement right now, as it stands, as a collective, entity, it has no governance. That has to change. That has to change. And in changing that, yes, it's going to be, so upset. That's okay because like Kwame Ture talked about it. He said there need to be a closing of the ranks. And that closing of the ranks, it means that there has to be an ideological struggle that must occur within. We're going to have to clean it up. Those who are unclear are going to have to either leave or become clear. But you cannot remain amongst us unclear because the only thing you can do is perpetuate confusion. And the confusion slows us down. It gets in the way. So I am forever committed to the work, but I must be honest as to where I see we are at. We're at an all-time low. Do I think things are going to change? Yes, things are going to change for us. I think 2025 is going to be a great year, man. Things going to be a very dynamic year in terms of the movement. I think people are going to be hearing more, listening more. I think the serious-minded people are going to begin to work more closely together. We're going to realize that we need each other more than we once thought we did. And I think we're going to start closing our ranks. And once that begins to happen, things are going to come together. I believe we're going to start defending one another's character the way that we should. If somebody is good and upright, we shouldn't let nobody come out the woodworks and attack him or that person. We should all band behind that person because once we show the misguided and the confused and the treacherous people, once we show them that we're going to support those who are genuine, sincere, and serious-minded, then that stuff will stop. But the reason it persists is because we sit back and just allow it to happen. We leave people out there by themselves and not band together. So I think, the year 2025 is going to be a dynamic year. I'm looking forward to it.
Excellent. I like the way you eloquently formalize that you know, and it only solidifies what I be doing, you know, because it becomes so frustrating of those who are perpetrators of the movement and of our liberation that are extremely deceptive, and they're geniusly deceptive to our people. And so this is that just solidifies why I put their asses up on these monitors.
Yeah,
You know,
that
because
was my next question. What do we do about this? There's a lot of them out here.
you
I
put
wouldn't
there,
even lie to them folks. So
well,
what do we do?
Brother Imhotep just explained it. He explained it formally, but in hood terms, you expose their asses, put their asses up on these monitors, and then you not only just, you know, for ridicule, but the purpose is to show our people who they really are, because you know they've been misleading our people, and these wolves in sheep's clothing. And so the purpose of exposure is to rip off the sheepskin, rip off the mask, and expose them for who they are. And so our people can see this, because you know how we are. Black people, when they feel betrayed, they ready to get busy, you know. But we have to get busy, not just going after them per se, but get busy in trying to heal from the blows and the emotional, mental, and spiritual blows, and the economic blows that these charlatans and these people posing as liberators have affected and infected the masses of our people.
Okay, so this is what I really meant by that before you start, but like for years I've been seeing Umar Johnson. Years he come down here every year and rack up, go all across the United States and rack up with a big lie, and ain't nothing is getting done about it. So how can we stop that? He been around here parading and bull jiving for about 14, 15 years, man. So that's why I asked that question. What do we do? Why do we allow that man to come in our cities and we know he full of BS?
Well, I
Right.
tell you what, I want to speak on that. I tell you what, for us being unified, that's the number one thing. And we have to be on code and be on one page. When we're on code we're on code and on one page, we can deal with those particular situations. But if we up under Western European rule, Western European law, we cannot physically do anything to this particular person. But at the same time, we can definitely stop supporting this person if we feel this person is not lining up with the movement or with the cause. If he is speaking and saying things for us in the community and for us amongst our people and hurting the culture. Once someone hurts the culture, we need to deal with that. We need to come together and be about business and deal with it. And one thing about us as people, we have short-term memory loss. We forget about things so fast. That's why it's good how Shaka does it. Put them on the screen and blast them. Sometimes I like when Shaka go and do a refresher course. What I mean by refresher course, he put somebody on that screen, let them know like we ain't forgot about you. You know what I'm saying? And that's one of the key things that we have to do in the movement. We have to keep pushing. We have to keep fighting because a lot of people are we are controlled with as being followers. So they see a name, they hear a name. He's big on YouTube. He's good. He's good with his speaking. He has good oratorical skills. Black people are going to follow this particular person if they're one, not on code, two, not unified, and three, not with a particular organization that's going to keep them informed of the foolishness that other people that be amongst us, culture vultures, because even some of us ourselves are culture vultures or hotep hustlers, take advantage of our people instead of doing what is need to be done, and that is liberation.
Hey.
I agree. Let me. I'm gonna offer this perspective because I like the question, and I think the question lends to my initial point. The only way a fake, phony, or charlatan can come into a community and exploit that community is that community must be disunited. Now, but in that same community, you got organizations that's supposed to be what? Black nationalists, Pan-Africanists, and so on and so forth. Because the organizations are now organized together, they don't wield the influence in the community. So they don't have no influence. And that's the point that I'm trying to make, because if he's trying to come into, say, Baltimore City. Now, I'm here in Baltimore City. He should be able to sit down with all the nationalist organizations, and we should have a conversation as to whether or not who we're going to allow to come in our community. We should be able to be in lock and sync, because they can only come in as an organization that's bringing them in.
Yeah.
That's it, right? So it lends to my initial statement. There's a fundamental lack of organization amongst us. We can stop it. We gotta address the issue that makes it possible. We gotta address the issue that makes it possible. The disorganization. The disorganization. We gotta address that. And we gotta say, you know what, man, we too disorganized. You know, we in these same areas, the same neighborhoods, the same cities. We don't have nothing that we do together at all. We're not lockstep together at all. You know, even the games, even games, man, sit down and come together, man, and lay out they're going to do things, man. Even games do that, but we say we the more enlightened ones. And we can't even come together, put together a basic protocol, how we're going to run inside our own city. It's a problem. And that's what I'm trying to address. That is a problem, because as long as that problem exists, it's going to hinder the work that any one organization is doing. Because one organization can't take us nowhere. That's not to say that each organization isn't doing good work. We are. You know what I'm saying? I know Shaka is doing good work. He is. He's one person, one organization. He needs to be locked in. We need to be locked in. So we have a stronger force, a stronger attack. And that's what I'm saying. We got to strive for that organization. We got to say, you know what, man, the budget's on point. We need to be organized. But the reason organization is lacking, because consciousness is lacking. See, you can't, organization don't happen by itself. Organization is manufactured. There's an architect behind organization. And that manufacturer or that architect is consciousness. And I said early on that the movement is in a low time just level. So we can't even begin to fathom how to facilitate organization. And that's why you got people ripping and running through our communities doing what they're doing, because the communities is disorganized. So I'm not even talking about at the quote unquote the street level. I'm not even talking about the people that we say are deaf, dumb, and blind who don't know. I'm talking about the ones who's supposed to know. Your black nationalists, your RBGs, you know what I'm saying? Your Garveyites, your Pan-African. I'm naming everybody. You know what I'm saying? All of us. I subscribe to Pan-Africanism, so I'm falling there too. You know what I'm saying? We all falling there, and we got to say, you know what, man? It's an issue. We got to address that issue. Let's get organized. Because once we start organizing our communities, we can take them communities over, man. We can control those communities, and we can prevent anybody from coming to our communities and exploiting our community the way that these individuals are doing it. Like case in point, we know we got people that jump from organization to organization.
Yeah.
And one of the things that I was doing, I tried to do this 10 years ago in Baltimore. I said, listen, if a person leaves Ba Imhotep-The organization and he pop up at your organization, before you put that person in your organization, contact me. You know, we need to do that, right? Let's not be so hard pressed to get people. Let's do our due diligence. Figure out why this person is leaving this organization. Because in most cases, it's a toxic individual. It's a person, you know what I'm saying, is leaving. And now they're going to try to seek refuge amongst you. And we being so hard pressed, we don't even do our due diligence. Even the people that we call Yorubas make you submit a resume, your background check. We supposed to be doing that. You know what I'm saying? And I say it all the time. So nobody can pop up our organization. You know what I'm saying? You do background checks. Background checks. Who do you know? And we're talking all that. I need to know what's wrong with you, especially if I know that you was once in Street Law Soldiers, and I know Shaka. Well, if I know Shaka, why I'm not on the phone with Shaka? I'm just letting you come over here and recruit my organization. That's off code. It's off
Yep.
code. I need to call my brother. Say, hey, what's going on, man? Check it out. What's going on? You know what? You know so and so. You know, I'm in Rod Joe. Yeah, man. You know he say he trying to get down. He been hanging around our organization, man, trying to get down. What's up with him, man? What's going on? You know, and I need to get it from my brother's mouth, and my brother gonna give me a rundown. Hey, check this out. He all right, brother, man, but you know what I'm saying? He don't do this. He don't do this. He don't take accountability well. I need to know that. Okay, well, I'm not gonna go no further with him. You know what I'm saying? But we don't do that because we're not thinking organization. We're not thinking organized methodology. You know what I'm saying? And I'm thinking organized methodology. That's where I'm at. So let me put this out there. I am only interested in connecting with and linking with serious-minded brothers and sisters that's trying to build serious organizational structures. It's it. Not with the lollygag. I'm not with the build. I'm not with the looseness and all that. No, because I'm going to bring 100% to the table. I'm bringing 100% to the table. You can count on me to come through. If my word is on it, I'm going to deliver. And I need you to meet me at the same place. And I'm going to give you 100. You get 100. That's an even what? Exchange, correct? That's how I look at it. If I bring 100% to the table, then you should bring 100% to the table. I'm no superhero. I'm a man just like you. We come to the same room. I bleed like you bleed. My bones split. But if I'm able to pull from within myself 100% for Black people, I expect you to pull 100% for Black people. If you profess to be for Black people, give me 65%. Then when I come to you and I'm holding you accountable, you want to give me some gap. I want to hear that. I got time for that. You know what I'm saying? I got time for that. You know what I'm saying? I got a son that's 35 years old. You know what I'm saying? I don't got time for that. You know what I'm saying? I'm trying to get some work done. So I only need serious-minded people, man, that want to get some serious work done.
Hey, I want to say, let me cut your wisdom. I want to say thanks to the people that subscribe and listen. I mean, that's listening to the show. Subscribe to the channel. You know, give us a like, make them comments. We appreciate y'all, and we love y'all.
I want to say, Malcolm X said we are not. He said we are not outnumbered. We are out organized.
Yeah. Hey, could you read what the brother Abafini said?
He said you got people that just want to be part of organizations by name, but don't really want to do any work or just want to represent the group by name. Yeah, we have a lot of group hoppers. You know, one thing I can say when I met Brother Ken, we had a closed type organization, and I remember a couple of times brothers like, yo man, I want to know yada yada like that. And one thing I like that you know me and Ken do is before we make a move, we call each other first. And then I also see them same attributes in Shaka, Brother Shaka Sankofa and Brother Gerald Moore. If something going on and we know some phony stuff happening or we wanna, they gonna call me like yo knowledge, man. I don't know about that brother, man. Check him out, keep your eye on him. And that's what we have to do as a people. Because there's too many people right now, consciousness, Black liberation, anything we put a title on, it's like a fad. Everybody hopping in, hopping out. You know, and it's like the get along and nobody's real, no one is really doing the work. No one is putting no boots on the ground. Down here, we put boots on the ground. We feeding the homeless. We out in the community. We amongst the people. We see real problems, real time, real situations. And other people, they just come along and then a lot of times they drop poison. They drop a little snake venom here, a little snake venom there. And now they got everybody in the community upset with you because they don't agree with you, because they not on code, and because they have their own agenda. And it's not the fact that they might have their own agenda. It's just the fact that they just cause confusion.
Yeah.
That's all. It just cause confusion.
You know what it is, we witnessed it, man. A lot of confusion, man. A lot of it. which is messed up because we out here losing. What it's for? It's crazy.
It depends if we do.
Go ahead,
Brother
Shaka.
Shaka.
No, go ahead, bro.
No, what I was gonna say, Brother Hotep, yeah, that was put together very elegantly about the ideology of us organizing and constructing a way about going about alleviating people that we know are not really serious about the movement. Now, as Brother Knowledge said, we have found people that come into the movement, and they've come into the movement for the movement to do for them, and not them to do for the movement. So how have you come about with your gathering or galvanizing people? How have you come to understand and get rid of the ones that you know are not actually part of the movement or want to be part of the movement or toxic or want to cause problems in the movement?
That's a great question. Still working on trying to perfect that system, but I can speak to some of the things that we as an organization have implemented that work in terms of membership in the organization, in terms of an official member. We've been able to for the most part, really minimize toxicity in terms of membership. Because what I do is that your membership is going to take a very long time. You know, you have to earn it. And what I've noticed is that most people, they lack consistency. So even the faker, the person that comes around faking, that want to become a member of PLM, once he or she get inside the process to become a member, once they see everything is asked of him, all the stuff that he or she has to do over that time period, he can't fake it that long. They begin to show who they are, and we can just go and get rid of them right there. They gone off the break. So in terms of official membership, we got that kind of worked out. Where we still working out now is in terms of our general gatherings and general people who just want to be around us, or who want to come to like our study systems and things of that nature there. So one of the things we begin to do for that is we create like a questionnaire. We're asking people to answer certain questions, give us certain information, and as they coming in, they're being monitored because we are beginning to develop in our own way something that it's a thing me and my wife been talking about for some years. Really taking note and writing down the different behaviors, these toxic behaviors that we've encountered. They are the same. So if you go talk to somebody in New York and they start talking about their issues, you're going to hear the same stuff. That's the same behaviors, right? So we need to categorize, we need to label, right? We need to create, you see what I'm saying, our own manual on these weird behaviors that interferes with the work. And we need to be developing systematically and making sure all organizations have it. We can begin to see. So that's what we begin to do. Case in point, one of the things that we know a lot of people is this right here. You got the person who just wants to be involved in everything. They want to be involved in everything, so that person comes around, and they talk too much, and they always talking about something. They talk too much, they talk too much. They in this, saying this person, and they talking to this person, and then they taking information from this person to this person, and they leave something out or add something in. This, they doing this. So everybody know that kind of individual, We've all seen that person. We know that whole playbook. Right? So I would say this right here. In terms of membership, any Black organization in terms of membership, I think the entry process should be fairer. I think we need to get out the mindset that we need to just recruit people real fast. We need to subject people to a fairer entry process. Because I'm telling you what I know, in 30 years, most people are very inconsistent. So if you subject someone to a nice, lengthy, rigorous entry process, they will reveal who they truly are before they get inside your organization. But most organizations don't do that. You know what I'm saying? We still organize from the olden days. You pop up, hey man, you come to some, I want to get down. And we put them straight in. That's where we at, you know what I'm saying? You can't get in PLM like that. I'm saying, I don't care how many times you pop up at the event. I don't care how many times you volunteer, you know what I'm saying? You just can't get in like that. It's simple as that. You know what I'm saying? It's something, it's more to it. Because
Yeah.
PLM is a family. And so why would I want to just bring anybody around family members? Our children, our wives, people that we love are here. You know what I'm saying? So you need to prove yourself worthy being in this family. If you really want it, if you really say, look what y'all doing, man, I can back what y'all thought. If that's true, then you're willing to work for that. If that's true, you're willing to work for that. It's the same way if a person went into martial arts. You don't become a black belt overnight. You're willing to work through all those levels to become a black belt. Same way when we say we want to become what, a quote unquote yoga priest or an Igbo priest, whatever, you subject yourself to that initiation process and you do whatever's asked of you to be done. That's the same for the organizations. So to be a part of PLM, you got to go through this initiation.
Yeah, because Brother Shaka has a sort of infrastructure for what he does. When he vetting someone that comes into the organization, we get on the phone, we have dialogue. And having dialogue, people have a general tendency to tell some things about themselves they wouldn't normally tell others. So that's the process of how we understand who's who. And we also have had some people that's outside of the organization has given us information on individuals, as you said earlier. So it comes from all sources of ways of finding out who's particularly it want to be in the organization and those ones that are perpetrating what we call an imposter. Someone that's want to come along and just want to be in an organization just to have that what you want to call reputation or clout or appellation or whatever have you. So now what we're actually doing now is that we're doing some of the same processing of eliminating people. We talk on the phone, we talk to them about their problems, some of the other things that goes on in their life, and you can practically see where a person is when they come into the organization. So that your ideology is on point. It is, and that code is set there. And everybody has a different way of how they approach that situation, of how to know who's going to be important and who's not.
Absolutely.
Isaiah God, he had a question for Ba Imhotep. Say, what's the plan, my brothers? When, where, and how do we move and become impactful in this community?
Can you read that question again, please?
This by the brother Isaiah on guard. What's the plan, my brothers? He asked. When, where, and how do we move and become impactful in this community?
Okay, so what I would say to that question is, I understand the question, and oftentimes I think because our situation is so drastic, we tend to ask, our questions tend to come from a place of urgency. That's not to say that our situation isn't urgent. It is, but the one thing you will learn when you're dealing with a complex situation, it requires some serious thinking. And our situation is a complex situation. So the first thing I would tell anybody that's serious about doing their work, I would say, if they're not already a part of an organization, then I would say subject yourself to an organization. Find an organization that reflect the values, the ideals, and the aspirations that you already house within yourself. You find that organization, begin to work with that organization, find out what their mission is, the things that they're doing, and then you figure out how you can aid that organization. If such an organization doesn't already exist, then you begin to build the organization. We can't do this work by ourselves. We can't do this work by ourselves. So that's what I tell everybody. Find an organization, identify an organization that reflects your ideals, your principles, and your aspirations. Then come amongst that organization. Figure out how you can become a part of the organization. Understand the organization's mission. Get in alignment, and then get to work with that organization. The plan is to get African sovereignty, which is not going to happen tomorrow. It's not going to happen in the next 10 years. It's not going to happen in the next 20 years. But what we can do is we can begin to reverse the conditions that is destroying us as a people by organizing ourselves, building together, building bridges, building institutions, establishing systems, things that we can pass on to another generation, moving ourselves closer to African sovereignty. So when another generation come along, they don't have to reinvent anything. They can pick up and look at the blueprint that we've built and they can build upon it. This is how you get to sovereignty. Like the Europeans didn't consolidate, you know what I'm saying, this enslavement system in one generation. Each generation laid down principles and systems that another generation built on. That's how they was able to consolidate it. So we have to do that type of work. We have to understand that what we are dealing with is something that's unprecedented, and it's really a complex issue. It's really a complex issue. You know, we need organization on every level. Yes, we need underground organization. We can't get into that on this platform right here, but I can speak in a general sense. But we do need underground organization. We need strike forces. We need stealth operations. That has to be organized, though. You know what I'm saying? Got to be organized. So this type of work can only come out of an organization. So I tell anybody, man, if you're serious, identify with an organization, become a part of an organization, and then work from there.
You was about to say something, General Parker.
No, just to piggyback on what Ba Imhotep was saying, about how we're at an all-time low in terms of being consistent, in terms of the watered down consciousness. That's why I don't like to use that term conscious community, you know, right. Because we don't even have a community, you know, because we're not communal. And so anything can be conscious. You know, a half-dead rat still has some level of consciousness. But when he was talking about the all-time low, we're so low that the gangs, the street gangs, have more organizing skills than the so-called our Black communities that are for Black liberation and salvation. Meaning, for example, that when these rappers go from city to city, the gangs have a thing called, they have to check in when they come into a city, you know, and that's their own street vetting process. And they only establish that based on communicating with other gangs and others in other states and other cities to be on code for such and such, or you know, and give them a resume of who's coming in your city. And so, you know, and this is why they say you have to check in. You check in with us first. You just don't come through here and rape the Black community economically. You know, you check in and see what you can contribute to the communities. So, and that's the same way with, you know, and to answer partially what that brother had commented about, you know, based on the moral fiber of the Black community being so ripped, that one of the main things organizations need to do, I know, and I'm just going to speak for the street law soldiers, is presence in the community. You have to show your presence in the communities, because a lot of the most strongest, toughest, relentless, non-compromising organizations are not nationally known to a degree or in comparison to those who are counter-revolutionaries disguising themselves as Black liberators. You know, and so in other words, and that goes back to what you were saying, Ken, about various scholars, these Umar Johnsons and things of that nature. When you got a brother here that has a school, whether the school is for 2 hours or 20 minutes, it's still a learning institution.
Yeah.
And he has, now just imagine if he has had half of the money, I'm not even gonna say half. If he had an eighth of the money and funds that they give these so-called scholars, can you imagine what that weekend school could become? And then you got people that are posing as these great leaders and scholars, they're buying, trap house bandominiums, and putting out people on this fairy tale ride of something that's never going to take place. Unfortunately, it's just like slavery. Everybody's not willing to leave the plantation. And to a high degree, we have to be okay with that. Everybody didn't run through slavery. Some stayed. A lot told on the ones who attempted to leave. And this is just the same energy of our ancestors warmed over. Because we're the liberators of the day. We're the great leaders of the day. We are. And we don't have to have major platforms because the most powerful people are unknown. Even when you look at yesterday to today, there's no Dessalines Senior High School or Toussaint Latour Elementaries, and you don't have those you don't have a Khalid Muhammad a vocational school. You don't have those things, but you got a Booker T. Washington everywhere.
Everywhere.
You got Frederick Douglass everywhere.
Everywhere.
And if we're not careful, next thing you know, they're gonna have Barack Obama stadiums, Kamala Harris high schools, because, and then that's just, once again, if we don't step up to the plate, then that's another 3 or 4 generations, like Ba Imhotep was saying, 10 to 20 years of indoctrination. Is just going to be on a more clandestine level, hidden in plain sight. So it's imperative, that we make our presence, and like we do, we give out the food and the clothes. Everybody has their lane. Everybody has their lane. Some people can teach yoga. Some people can teach commerce, maritime law. Some people are just straight up warriors, ready to put this work in, and let the chips fall where they may. All of it needs to be consolidated. But simultaneously, people need to be vetted, because we've had so many people come into this movement. They use the uniform, they use the ankh to hide behind. And then you find out, their history ranges from everything from spousal abuse to being sexual predators to being undercover junkies. And not to put down anybody that's struggling with substance abuse, but a lot of times, like you were saying, Bob, that people just want to raise their hand and belong, and then these organizations are not concerned with the well-being of the individual. They're only concerned about numbers, ranking up, marching down the street, and never gonna put no work in, giving them the impression to make everything look good and to give out feel-good information. And that's extremely ineffective and is detrimental to our growth and development for our future generations. Because finally, one of the main things that's going to be the demise of the Black community is individualism. That's going to be a contributing factor in the demise of the Black community, is individualism and showbiz liberation and sensationalism.
Can I piggyback off of that? Yeah. Individualism, for real. Some of us, and I've been saying it for a few weeks now to you, Jeremy and Nigel. We are always talking about being communal, even the so-called conscious community. I don't like using that either, because it ain't real to me, And so-called conscious people practice individualism. Period. Hey, before we get out of here, Ba Imhotep, could you tell us about your school and how did you get it started and where you wanted to see it in the future?
Yes. So I've always knew and understood that independent educational institutions are a necessity for any oppressed people. Education is critical. By education, I'm not talking about, what they teach in terms of academics. I'm talking about, the ability to tap into and bring out the innate genius that we come to the world with. That type of education. I always knew that. So I was thinking about it, like always advocating for trying to get the school started, do a school, start a school. I like to consult the ancestors. I always do a lot of late night, libations and talks and things. And so about 5 years ago, no, about 4 years ago, right around the time of COVID hit, in 2020, it came to me one night. It was like, listen, say, just go weekend school. Like you got a facility, you know, get the money. You got some money, put the money into fixing the basement up, and go weekend school. So I said, boom, I'm gonna try that. So I began to do research, to just look up on weekend schools. What I noticed is this, and when I began to look, I noticed that weekend schools are out there, but there are no African-centered weekend schools, right?
Right.
I came across a few African-centered Saturday schools, which is good, but in terms of the weekend schools, it was always Catholic, Jewish, Christian, Chinese, or Islamic. I said, damn, that's interesting. I said, no African-centered weekend school. I said, so I'm gonna go ahead and go for the weekend school. So I began to think about how I was gonna do it, how it was gonna be set up. I like to always run my ideas past different people. Most of the people that I said something to about the weekend school, they was against it. They was like, I don't know, man. I don't think you can do this, that, that. Nobody really had nothing good to say. But I'm never easily discouraged though. You know what I'm saying? You can't discourage me. I'm not that kind of person. So I was like, in my mind, I was like, no, I'm gonna do this. So then I had reached out to Dr. Mayat, and I was telling her about it, and she heard it and instantly was like, yeah, I like the idea. I would say, well, so I want to know if you'd be willing to just come in, on Sundays and be a part of the Sunday, and we can bring the STEM in there. She was like, yeah, I'll be willing to do that, no doubt. We can make it happen. Like, so 2022 hit, September, boom, I launched it. I launched it, I had the first group of students. I had like 12 students, young boys and young girls, and we did it. Saturdays, we was working on Saturdays from 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. That's how we started out. On Sundays, it was from 10 a.m. to 12 p.m. First year went well. The person that I had working with me after the first year, she became real ill. So the following year we went into, because the school go from September to June, and then I do like a summer thing. So it's kind of all year round, but formally it's from September to June, then through the summer it's kind of loose. And so then the next year, coming into September, I started going from 9 to 12 because I was just doing it all by myself. So from 9 to 12 on Saturdays and 10 to 12 on Sundays. And I, been doing it ever since. So the things that I primarily teach there is everything revolves around our history and our culture. They're getting much of that. But I noticed, work with the children, I noticed that even though they may have been a certain age, I noticed that they academically, it didn't match. So I said I had to address that because I didn't feel comfortable, just working with you and recognizing that you should know how to do division, but you can't do division. Or you should be able to read better and you can't read. So I began to address all of that. You know what I'm saying? So now with me, they get it all. I'm able to, and they're not all the same age, but I'm able, my methodology, it's nothing but me understanding how we were as African people. They're in the same age grade, so I can educate all of them, and no one is being slighted. Even the one that may be more advanced than the other one, able to still address his or her need to keep him going, and also address the one that's struggling with reading, or the one that may be 9 but can't do multiplication and need to get multiplication. But then I got the one that may be 11 that understands, beginning algebra, able to touch all of that and move these children. Because one of the things that I do is I have the children always commend one another. Every small gain that any of you make in here, all of you must commend that other person for that. So the children are always clapping each other up. So when they're there, they want to be there. They're engaged for the most part. And I'll share with you guys our creed, and all the children know this creed. And this is how we open up. We open up like this. So if a boy open up with the creed, then a girl will have to close with the creed. If a girl open up with the creed, then the boy got to close. And the creed is very simple. It says this: we are the best because we stand on the shoulders of the best. Therefore, we will not accept anything less than our best. And every child say that, and they know what that means. Because I don't let them not push themselves. So with me, every child grow and get better.
All right, family. We before we close the show, any last remarks?
It's wonderful, bro. Thank you. Thank all of you. Thank all of you.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I like that, man. We should was coming down to Atlanta, Brother Imhotep. We'll have another event. Yeah, Shaka. Yeah, hey Shaka. Tell us about the event. This next weekend, December the 7th.
Yes, sir. It's next Saturday. At the I guess it's the Afro Griot Museum on the west end of Atlanta. That's this Saturday, December 7th from 2 to 7 p.m. Our speakers include Captain Gerald Moore of the Street Law Soldiers, Brother Ken Wilder. Brother Ken Wilder, he'll be there speaking. Knowledge Born 7, Queen Goddess Mama Earth Williams, Lady President of the UNIA, and myself. And I don't know, it may be another speaker involved or whatever if time permits, but that's the gist of it. We're talking about, rebuilding and the rebirth of the Black communities. It's going to be on Facebook Live. That's next Saturday, December the 7th from 2 to 7 p.m.
All right.
What's the name of the place? It's the Alma. What is it?
The Almanada Griot, Afrocentric Griot Museum.
Yeah, Almanada Griot Afrocentric Museum.
Yeah.
Brother Hotep, we want to Brother Hotep, I want to thank you, and I think that's a commendable job from what you're doing with the kids and teaching them the things that they need to know, especially when it's African descent.
Real.
And praise you, brother, and keep up the good work.
That's right. That's
right. You're welcome.
Right.
You brothers keep, Go ahead, my thing is, like I say, man, let's keep it going. My thing is, like, for me, all my interactions, I'm looking for relationships. Everything relational and transformational. That's what it has to be. So this right here is our introduction. Let this continue to go.
I hope so. I hope so, brother.
And I would love to come down to Atlanta.
Like you.
Oh yeah, boy. Yeah. We love to see you, brother, man. That's straight up, man. Hey,
right, let's stay in contact.
Oh yeah, I got your another brother, man. And hey, for all, we appreciate all of, we see everybody that's on the live feed. We in and not y'all, but we appreciate y'all. If haven't subscribed to the show, subscribe to the show. Like, you can drop the comments. Also, can't forget about our brother T. Shaka Sankofa. You can check him out 3 or 4 times a week in the evening between 7:30 and 8:30. T. Shaka Sankofa Facebook Live. When the next time you coming on, brother? Friday night between 7 and 8:30. Yeah, so check out the brother. Go to his page, man. He be dropping bombs over there. T. Shaka Sankofa. And that's all I got to say, brother.
Right. Knowledge Born 7. Our guest was Ba Imhotep. Kenwato, our killers in the building, as well as Shaka Sankofa and Brother Gerald Moore. Both of them guys are of the Street Law Soldiers. We thank y'all. Peace, family. Peace, family. Till next time, next week.
Peace to all the gods.
Peace, y'all. Peace to the gods.
Peace to the gods and goddess.
All right. Good show, man. Good show, man.
It was good.